In this episode, will you find out if Tanjiro survived the last battle? Did he defeat the High Moon? Or did he suffer wounds incompatible with life? How will the demons react to this? Will this whole situation only exacerbate the centuries-old war? We don't know yet. But if you stay, you're sure to find out the answers to all these questions. The foursome of teenagers were able to defeat the High Moon. Nothing has changed for hundreds of years, but things are different now. They are slowly but surely getting closer to Mudson. One day they will reach it, and then the course of the whole history of the world will be changed. The third High Moon found itself in the Castle of Infinity. That means only one thing: some of the higher moons had been killed by the hunters. This pissed the guy off. He rushed down into the abyss of endless buildings. Flying past buildings and platforms, he descended lower and lower. So he arrived directly at the other High Moons and the girl with the bivoi. There he was met by Gyako, the fifth High Moon. It had been a long time since they had seen each other, but not to say that they were very happy about this meeting. On the stairs, in the darkness, was the fourth highest moon, Hantengu. He was a bit of a coward, so he didn't want to get out of his hiding place. They are all waiting for Muzan-san and the first High Moon, Kokushibo. Just then, the second highest moon, Doma, appeared from behind Akazawa. He was the most hyperactive of those present. Akaze was very uncomfortable with his colleague's tactility, so he very delicately asked him to remove his hand from his shoulder. Kokushibo appeared to have been watching the whole time, and it was he who announced the arrival of Muzan-san. Who are you rooting for? Ignore, for Gyako. Liked and subscribed to Tanjiro. His arrival made everyone in the room tense. He was as perfect as ever. The ringleader was this time behind the test tube rack. Needless to say, he was angry about the loss of Guetaro, for now the demons were missing the High Moon. Mudson had predicted this outcome. He knew the demon would be let down by Ducky. If he had fought without her, things would have been different. The only thing that pissed him off more was that they had been chasing the blue spider lily for hundreds of years and they still didn't have it. Then Gyako suddenly said that he had some information that could get them closer to their goal. Most of all, Mudson hates change, especially change that leads to recession. And here, for the first time in 113 years, a High Moon was killed. He ordered the information checked and worked it out. Now it's time for more drastic action. After the Lord disappeared, the demons stayed together. Eager to get Mudson's approval, Doma decided to get information from Gyako. Akaze didn't like this, and he quickly copped an attempt to disobey his lord's orders. Kokushibo immediately reacted to such behavior. Such overstepping of authority is simply unacceptable, for by behaving like this, Akaze is violating the hierarchy. After listening to the first moon, Akaza promised to kill Kokushibo. After that, everyone dispersed on their missions. One Doma returned to his home. While Tanjiro was in the hospital, he had a strange dream, as if from the past. There his father brought tea to his guest. That guest turned out to be a powerful swordsman who had saved them from demons. Tanjiro's father wanted to bring his name to posterity, but he refused. All he said was that masters of the same cause share a common path. So whoever should inherit his name would find out for himself. It turned out that after the last battle, Tanjiro had been in a coma for 2 whole months and he finally woke up. The guys were saved by Goto, a member of the sweep squad of the Demon Hunter organization. Now he helps take care of them. When he entered the room, he saw that Tanjiro was awake. This had to be reported to everyone immediately. Then Goto called everyone he could. There was a commotion in the house and finally all the hunters came to their senses. Zenitsu woke up the day after the battle and is already on a mission. Hashiro, who fought with them, had gone off on his own, supported by his wives. Inosuke, on the other hand, was dying of poison, but he's fully recovered now. He had already managed to argue with someone. Even in such a tumult Tanjiro was able to sleep. His body was still exhausted. Soon everyone was fully recovered. Tanjiro began to train hard again to get back into shape. But now there was a new problem. Hagen Idzuka had not sent Tanjiro a new sword. He was angry that the hunter had ruined his blade again. He seemed offended, so the guy decided not to wait and went to the village where all the blacksmiths live himself. This village is a very secret place, so much so that no one knows the way there to avoid being attacked by demons. The way there was through forests and hidden trails. Tanjiro was blindfolded, given earplugs and nasal plugs. The Kikushis changed constantly, carrying the hunter on their backs. Meanwhile they were led to the village by crows, who also changed. The village was incredible. There were very beautiful buildings, and the landscape where it was located was amazing. This settlement was famous not only for blacksmiths, but also for its healing hot springs. First you have to go to the house of the village chief. It is a real honor to meet such a man. It just so happens that Hataru is missing and no one knows where he is now. The headman was angry with him for forging a bad sword, and then he also ran away from work. While they look for him, Tanjiro has offered to rest in their village, and the hot springs will help him get better. On his way to the hill where the hot springs are located, the boy met Mitsuri, one of Hashiro. She was very happy about the encounter. But she was also upset that someone from above at the springs didn't say hello to her and didn't even give her name, which really offended the girl. Taking control of the situation, Tanjiro reassured her that there would be very good food for dinner tonight. At the springs a tooth flew into the boy's hand. It belonged to Jenny, who was already basking in the water. Wanting to make friends with him, Tanjiro jumped into the water with him. But as soon as he said the name that Jenny and his brother had in common, the latter snapped. He nearly drowned Tanjiro, and made it clear that he hadn't come here to make friends. Alright. At dinner, the boy talked to Mitsuri. They suggested that Genya didn't get along with his older brother, for some unknown reason. Genya didn't come to eat, so the hunters decided to bring him onigiri. On the way to the room, Mitsuri explained why she became a Hashiro. All for the sake of finding herself a man of destiny. Meanwhile, the sword Mitsuri came here for was already ready. It's time to take it away, but before that we need to prepare it even better. It would take most of the night, so on such a good note she and Tanjiro had to say goodbye. Before she left, the girl told the boy that they say there is a weapon in this village that can help you become stronger. Tanjiro must find it. It is impossible not to mention that the food in the village was very good. After eating the food, the boy went in search of the secret weapon, taking Nezuko with him. As he entered the forest, he heard muffled voices. It was several people arguing. To see what was going on, he hid behind some bushes and began to watch. Standing on the path was Hashiro Mr. Michiro, and with him was some kid, from whom he demanded some kind of key. The boy at one time did not agree to the demands in any way and did not want to give the key to anyone, for it was very dear to him. Tanjiro looked up and saw that the man standing behind the child was the man from the boy's dream. He was very familiar, but from the bushes it was difficult to see his face better.